Hey everybody, it's Original Run. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Today's video is going to be purely about lolis and the concept of being a lolicon. And before we jump into that video, I do want to apologize for the delay in a lot of my releases. I've been in training 5 weeks on the job, working really hard, and I haven't really had a lot of time to be able to release videos. I will be releasing more videos about Akihabara and touring around there if you're interested in going to visit Japan this year. I will also be making some more videos promoting visual novels and trying to get them more exposed in the future. I've just been really kind of lazy and really kind of busy to not be able to do that. But in this video, we're going to only be talking about lolicons and lolis in general. And I'm going to ask some questions to you as the viewers and my own opinion about the whole concept, and then we'll kind of go through all these goodies, character goods, figurines, and we'll showcase them and just kind of show you if you want to get into this hobby or you like getting it kind of otaku goods. I'll show you kind of what prices that can vary for this kind of stuff, and then just what's out there, and maybe you say, oh, it's an awesome looking figure, that's an awesome looking item you have there. So, before we get into that, I want to kind of talk just about the term lolicon in general, and I won't go too in-depth with this because this isn't what I want the episode to be about, but I do kind of want to talk about the term in general. I think one of the main reasons that a lot of people have a negative connotation when it comes to thinking of the word lolicon and Japanese 2D animation is that a lot of lolicons and people who appreciate loli characters are very introverted and very secluded. And yeah, that's a good word, secluded. And this is absolutely 100% true when it comes to a lot of Japanese otaku. You go to Comic-Con, for example, and you're marching the floor for all your doujinshi, you're not going to be talking to a lot of people. You have your money, you go in, you get your doujinshi, you leave. If you're with friends, you may talk to them afterwards, but most of the time it's people that are just silently doing their business, don't want to talk to anybody, buy their porn, and then get out of there. And I've made 2 episodes before about pornography, and this is kind of why I wanted to expand on this episode as well. We won't be talking about specific porn in general, but just to give you an example, you go to Comic Market and there's a lot of secluded people. I think a lot of people in the anime community in general, in the Japanese 2D animation realm in general, a lot of people are secluded and or introverts. Now, this isn't necessarily a problem, but this is kind of what can make people use the term, you're very creepy. You have this idea that it's very inappropriate almost. It's very scary that you have this person who you don't know what they're going to do. They're very quiet. They fantasize about these different fetishes and all these different things, and I think that's where the negative connotation comes from the term lolicon. Now, if you haven't already, I highly recommend reading the book Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Fantastic read, originally written in English, interestingly enough, published in Paris in 1955, 1958 in New York, and then 1959 in London. It was originally a book in Paris in English. It was not until later that Vladimir decided to translate it into his original Russian language. So it's actually an English book. Fun fact. That being said, it's a fantastic read. It's a little more challenging for non-native English speakers. I had some trouble following some of it. If you've read Moby Dick and you're pretty comfortable with that, I think Lolita is pretty easy to follow in some regards. But it is a little bit more of a difficult book because of just the way the main character Humbert speaks and how he kind of goes through the story. I won't really spoil anything for you. It's a fantastic book. I highly recommend reading it. It really kind of digs into insight about people's attraction to younger female characters. Now, the good news is that relates to real life, and this is mostly the cartoon realm. And one thing I also want to reiterate, especially for those who are lolicons out there, and for those who aren't lolicons who really think that it's an inappropriate subject and that it should never exist, you need to realize that it's a highly big part of Japanese culture when it comes to the otaku culture. And Japan is very non-judgmental among otaku. They'll get angry at you because they don't consider you being a true otaku. You have idols who, like the Love Live idols, and which idol you're supposed to worship. And idol otaku aren't really friendly with, figurine collecting otaku. And so it's kind of different, when you compare the two, and then they get mad at each other. Like, they're like, oh, we're the cooler group, or oh, no, we're the cooler group. And so I've seen that before. But when it comes to just being an otaku in general, you can walk into a store, and if you're buying something in Akiba, nobody's going to judge you. And a lot of people might think, oh my gosh, I'm buying an Onahole, which I personally have never purchased any of that kind of stuff. I don't buy adult goods. But some people might want to go and shop and buy something like that, and that's your private life, whatever. Some people might want to go, I want to buy, one of these loli characters. Am I going to get judged? People are going to stare at me. Nobody's going to do that. The only reason people would stare at you is because, one, you're a foreigner, and you're in a shop buying this kind of stuff. But they really aren't going to be judgmental. Japanese people, they don't come off with the impression that they're being extremely judgmental. Americans do. You will tell, especially as an American standpoint, when two people are talking about you and they're saying just total crap. Now, yes, there's gossip in Japan. Let's be completely honest. There are people that will talk about you behind your back. For the most part, it's not really a thing that you feel pressure about. You may feel it initially when you go there, and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's staring at me. But then you kind of realize, like, you know what? Nah, it's not a big deal, and you might get over that. But if you're already an introvert, you're already kind of secluded, you have a hard time doing this, getting out and doing this kind of stuff. And I think that's one of the things that makes people so afraid of lolicons. But in all honesty, I don't really feel that a lot of otaku should have the right to judge people outside of Japan for liking this kind of hobby. I have my own personal opinions about the whole thing, but I don't think a lot of people should be judging this hobby. And the one reason I think that is because you already are attracted to cartoon characters. And if you're watching anime and you get any way sexually attracted, we're all weird in our own way, if you think about it. Everybody who's an otaku. I mean, if at any point you got sexually attracted to a cartoon character, that already makes you just as bad as liking a cartoon character that's younger in appearance. I mean, that's kind of my strong opinion about it. Now, there are borderline things within these genres, I'll call them genres, that I think are going a little too far. And I think for everybody there's things that are going too far. And I don't want to go into the details about that. That's not what I want to get into in this video. But in terms of just being attracted to younger characters in a cartoon, well, if you're already attracted to characters in a cartoon to begin with, I mean, you really shouldn't have the right to judge anyone. People from the outside are going to judge it because, honestly, the people from the outside should just be judging the fact that you like Japanese 2D animation, and that's perfectly fine. If people want to say you're shit for liking anime, okay, fine. I don't really like that anime that much. If people want to say you're crap for liking visual novels or you're crap for figure collecting, okay, fine, you know? I'm not shoving the hobby down your throat. I'm not going to force you to do it. But if people within your hobby who also do the hobby are judging you for something, then it's kind of like, wait a minute, you know? Like, we're all on the same page here, right? We should be on the same page. I'm not saying you have to like what I like, because everybody has different preferences, but you shouldn't really be judging within the hobby. And, you know, that's really nice, kind of a good thing about the otaku, especially in Japan. They're very friendly. They're very awesome to talk to if you ever can speak Japanese, which is highly why I recommend learning how to speak. If you're just doing it because you want to learn how to watch anime, read manga, or read a visual novel, please, please, please learn all the concepts of the language. Learning a second language is amazing. It's not what this video is about, but honestly, you will enjoy it and love talking to the many different people, especially at Comic Market. There's so many friendly people. They want to know all about your culture, why you're there, what your favorite anime are, what's this. They're really fun to talk to, really nice, friendly people, and they will... I told you, I was in a line at Comic Market, and I got 3 drinks from people. One of them was a female, 2 dudes, and they were just like, hey, you know, you're from America? It was a little bit of a difficult conversation, obviously, because they only spoke so much English, but they bought me like 3 drinks while we were standing in line for 2 hours to get into Comic Market 88 in the summer. So, you know, go for it. It's great to learn this language. There are some really friendly people out there, and, you know, when I see people around the community bashing each other for their preferences, when they like this kind of genre to begin with, wow, you know, you can hate an anime. If you want to say this anime sucks and then argue with people about that, that's fine. But don't be like, your tastes, you know, you liking younger girl characters and lollies, you're stupid. Like, who cares, you know? You don't need to like it. You can still say you hate it, but, you know, I don't bash people for that. That's kind of dumb. Just like, you know, don't bash people for other things. Yeah, go ahead, bash people for liking shitty anime. That's fine, or liking shitty characters. I mean, that's common in the genre. But, you know, do it in a friendly way. Don't be a dick about it. And, you know, just have some fun with it. Anyways, enough really about that. I don't really want to go too deep in the concept. I kind of just want to show you some of this, these figurines and then kind of some of the goods that you could buy if you're interested and you're a Lolicon and you like this kind of stuff. Now, why I bought it was because, you know, I've kind of started to appreciate the genre. I keep calling it a genre because it's just the best term I can think of to describe, you know, liking lolly characters. Because, honestly, I just like the characters. Now, the term Lolicon itself is really... what does it exactly mean? In the original Lolita book, Humbert, the main character, had described being attracted to nymphets, was the term he used, ages 9 to 14. I've heard people say, no, lolly has to be 10 years old, it can't be, you know, it's not true lolly, and there's pseudo-lollies, and it's like, okay, you know what? Just, it's such a hard concept to grasp. So obviously I haven't chosen every single figure I own that could be like, well, that's a lolly, and that's not a lolly. You know, is it based on the appearance they have? Is it based on their age solely, or is it based on, you know, they have to have a flat chest, they have to be short, they have to have this kind of look? And it's really kind of borderline, what can we actually identify as being a lolly? So I try my best to decide what I think are lolly characters. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I obviously have more characters that could be, you know, lolly, I guess, to some people, but I'm not going to go through every single one of my items and decide, you know, okay, well, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, what's the age of this character? I'm not going to do that. It's going to be such a waste of time. So with that being said, why don't we jump right into the video, okay? So I'm going to kind of display some of these figures here, and we'll kind of shift them off to the side and put them in the center, and we'll go through each of the goods. Now before we get started, you can obviously see that I have this lovely poster of Prisma Ilia behind me. Now I'm going to be completely honest. I think Kuro, the character from Prisma Ilia, is extremely hot, and I love dark-skinned characters in 2D animation, regardless of what they look like. Well, obviously, there's limits, but I think Kuro's a great-looking character. I especially like the color of her hair, and I love dark-skinned characters. Sadly, a lot of dark-skinned characters in animation, in 2D animation, are all Loli characters. I'm trying to think of another one that I recently saw that was a Loli character. I think there's one in Telovru, and Telovru Darkness. What was it? I can't remember her name, but maybe it was like Shadow or something. No, that's just making that bullshit up. But it's really kind of interesting because a lot of the characters are Lolis, the ones that are dark-skinned animation characters. I mean, there's some out there that aren't, that I've come to know, and there's figurines of those ones too. I might actually end up getting that figurine sometime. But for the most part, like I was saying, I think Kuro's kind of attractive. I think Prisma Ilia is kind of one of those shows that if you watch it, which I've never watched it, you will definitely be exposed to the idea of just pure Yuri young girl Loli. And some people bash it, some people like it, but if you're interested in these kinds of posters, there's many of them out there. I actually got this one printed by a company that prints posters for me. This is extremely expensive based on the size. As you can obviously tell, it's almost like the size of an 80-inch television. So that costs a lot of money just for the print. And then as you can see, I have some other prints over here. If you've seen the tour of my room in this section before, you'll know that I used to have a lot of wall scrolls around here. And then I ended up changing it out because I kind of wanted to make this just the poster area. I'm moving all my wall scrolls out into the other room because I'm kind of like trying to organize the whole thing. But, I just got a bunch of posters. There's one over here of Maria, who's right here in the center, from Shinmai. Also a character I think is totally hot, and I love the character. Personally, the figure is not the greatest, but we'll go into that in a little detail a little later. So why don't we talk a little bit about the figures? And this video is dedicated to you guys, for all the Loli fans out there. And if you like something you see, feel free to leave your comments. Don't be afraid to leave your comments. It's a chance to have fun and talk about your hobbies. So why don't we get started? All right, hey guys, I've moved the camera a little bit closer to us. I'm going to go through each of the figurines here. I think only one might have a problem of fitting in the camera. The rest should fit in here. Kind of discuss them a little bit about the crafting company that did them, if I can remember the crafting company, because honestly I don't remember every single crafting company that did these figurines. And then we'll kind of just go into a little bit of detail about each one and discuss it and what you think. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Hope you guys like the video, and let's get started. So the first figure here I have is from Shinmai Mao no Testament. It's Marira Naruse, probably one of my favorite Loli characters of all time. Interestingly enough, because you will see a Dakimakura that I own of her as well, and I also had a phone case from her. Really fun character, like it. Yuki's got a much nicer body, I'll just use that term, but I do like Maria. I think she's a cool character. I've never actually seen this show, by the way, so I might just be spewing crap out of my mouth. But based on images I've seen, based on like just her appearance in general, I think she looked pretty cool. I could be completely wrong about that, and I have been proven wrong about that before. So yeah. But this is the character. This is a company, Vertex, that crafts this, and Vertex does some pretty decent figures, I think. And I was kind of on the border about if I wanted to purchase this one or not, because a lot of people who were Lolicons that I spoke to were saying, is it really that good of a figure? Is it decent? Some people were saying, I don't really like the craft. And honestly, I thought they did a pretty job of it. Maria's look is, I think it's cool. I really like the character. I wish she was wearing her original outfit, which wasn't like really borderline, she was in this pose. But honestly, I think it's fine. I've come to appreciate it a lot more, and I think she's a really awesome character, so I ended up getting her. Vertex, for those of you who are interested, price, I think about 9,000 yen when I paid for her. It might have been 8,000, can't remember. I picked her up like last minute before I left because she just got released. So yeah, that's Maria Naruse from Vertex. Next figure I'll be showing you here is from Fate Testarossa, which is, well, that character, that's the character's name, I apologize. And this is apparently there was like the Nanoha movie, which had her in this form or something, where they were like young characters, I don't remember. You can remove the skirt. I don't remember who crafts this. I think this is Alter. Yes, this was Alter. And overall, I think it's a pretty good figure. I like it. I picked it up because I thought it was cute. And, you know, thought it was cute. That's pretty much it. I like the hair, the twin tails, and I like the eyes. This was when Alter did kind of more their cheaper crafts. You can tell, like, obviously it's not, well, it's a good craft, but it's not like some of the recent Alter ones you might have seen, which are just like ridiculous. So Fate, excuse me, if you're interested in that figure, and I thought she was pretty cool, so I ended up picking her up. And after Fate, we have Takanashi Mew from that one show, which I will read off this because I can't remember it. Papa no Jukoto wo Kiki Nasai. There we go. Sorry. I've never seen any of these shows, by the way. I just buy these characters. The reason I really liked her was for two reasons. One, her smirk, which I'll try to get here more on the camera. I loved the way they did the smirk on this one. Thought it was really cute. And then also just the stockings. I'm a big fan of these black and white stockings. Haruka from Little Busters had it, and that's why she was, in my opinion, the best girl. I have my own personal opinion about Little Busters as a VN at this point, but you know, overall, I really like those kinds of stockings, and that's why I got it. I don't remember who crafts this one. I think it's man, I can't remember who crafts it. Yep, I have no idea who crafts it. It might be Alter. I don't actually know. So I don't remember who crafts this one, but I think she's kind of cute. I think she did a pretty good job. The grin is what really got me, and also just the stockings were really cool too. So that's a nice little figure if you're interested in that kind of stuff. The funny English on here that says "Crazy Rabbit coming soon." Yeah, I love Japanese English t-shirts. They're hilarious. That's a good one. Here we have one from Vivared Operation. I don't even know the character's name. So, but I like Vivared because it shows a lot of butts, and I'm a big butt fan. But some people say the show's crap. Never watched the show. Don't really care. I just decided to get this one because I thought she was cute. She's my favorite from the show. She probably has one of the best butts in the show. This is actually just not like a butt, but you know, it's interesting because her base is enormous. I don't know why she has such a large base for such a small figure, but fun character, cool concept, and I don't remember who crafts that either. I think it might be A Toys. No, not A Toys. I can't remember. Might be Griffin. No, that one's not Griffin. I don't remember. All right, next we have, let's get this one out of the way. We have the lovely Gluttony Beelzebub. Now, I recently just purchased this one because I wanted to add one to my Envy collection, or Leviathan, of the Seven Deadly Sins. It has the amazing stand right there of Glut. It actually says Gult, which I think is just hilarious that it actually was a misprint. And then in the back it says Beelzebub. And you can kind of see she has a lot of different things going on here with the chains and the whips and all this other stuff and the horn. And overall, I think she's a cute character. Out of all the Seven Deadly Sins, this one and Envy are probably my favorite, and they're the only two I actually really like. I don't really like the other ones. I've looked at the other girls, like Sloth and all that stuff, and they're not that amazing. That was Hobby Japan that actually made that, so they're pretty tough to find, really good condition ones, and I ended up getting that one, and I'm pretty happy with it. She's pretty expensive, though, so be cautious when you get the Seven Deadly Sins. They're very expensive, and they've released them like 3 times. And they come with stuff. Each one comes with a unique thing you can buy. Like this one came with a placemat. I don't have that. But you can kind of look up the character if you really want to. Gluttony or Beelzebub. Next one is from some show. I have no idea what it is, but I'm sure you are familiar with it. If I show you, it's the one with the rabbit Loli character. This character. If you're familiar with it, you're familiar with it. I have no idea what it is. I thought it was just cool. Sometimes I like to have a wide variety in my collection, including lollies and large adult breasted characters, and I just like to varietize kind of everything because I have preference kind of for everything, and that's very rare, especially in the community, because a lot of people don't really have a lot of preference for the same stuff, and it's like you either like one or the other, and so I liked both, so that's my opinion. We have, what's next? From Date Alive. I don't even know what this character's name is. I'm not going to bring the stand over here because it's kind of pointless. You can just see her in her entirety. Plume made this one. And it's kind of like plasticky, but definitely looks quite amazing. Very cute, very adorable. I think there's really not much I could say about this. I've never actually watched Date Alive, but I think they did a really good job with this one. And she wasn't that expensive. She's actually pretty cheap. So, well, when I say cheap, obviously some people might think it's extremely expensive. So check that one out. Pretty cool. Next we have Chino from Gochumon, Kafu Chino from Gochumon. Quest Q makes this one. And Quest Q charges an arm and a leg for these kinds of figures. With this one, you can actually take out the hat. She has Tippy with her, very adorable. You'll be surprised, actually. I've recently ordered a lot of Maria Naruse, Cappuccino, and what else? There was one other one. No, I think that's it. Yeah, I ordered a lot of different Dakimakura and character goods from them. They're kind of probably my two favorite, like, well, Chino's just adorable. And, yeah, the other ones are kind of just, Maria's kind of just cool. And then they don't really have a lot of Prisma Ilia stuff, which I wish they did have a little bit more stuff, because I would buy some. But they're all just of, Ilia, which just, I don't like her really as a character. So there's Chino. Very cute. Quest Q. Very expensive if you wanted to ever get that one. After Chino, I have Yuki Mikan from Televeru. I have two Yuki Mikans today. I'll show you this one first, the swimsuit one, which I finally caved in and bought. I especially like the stomach craft on this. Very well detailed. This was an altar craft. And I think overall it's very good. Now, these altar ones with this kind of base where they have the name like that. I also have the Yui Kotogawa. I have the Lala one coming soon, which the Lala one's ridiculous, by the way, because Lala is like priced at $1 bajillion now, like 37,000 yen aftermarket price. I'm really tempted to actually just hang on to it, see if they do a reprint and get a bunch of money for it. But enough about that. Yuki Mikan, she has two faces. You can change out her face, but I just kept the original face on there. I think they did a really good job of this one in terms of craft. They really gave the detail, especially of the stomach. I'm really big on stomachs sometimes. One of the wall scrolls I own, I'm sure you've seen it. I don't have no idea what it's from. I have no idea who the character is, but I liked it because it had a really nice length stomach. And I really, like Maki's a cool character because she's very tall. I like tall women, and so they have longer, torsos. And so I'm kind of attracted to that body structure wise. So I like these kind of longer stomachs. I think they're cute. I think they're good looking. If we had to choose, like, preferences of tall versus, and that's basically based on height. It's like kind of like, I like longer stomachs with shorter legs, but I also like longer legs. So everybody has their different preference of like how the ratio is distributed. I prefer a little longer stomachs, but I also like long legs too, so it's not really a huge deal. I won't bring the stand over for this one. We do have Azusa, not Azusa. Oh gosh, not Anzu. I don't even remember this girl's name. Henri. It's not Henri either. Whatever. I can't remember this girl's name. Griffin Enterprises from Hentai Prince and Stony Cat. The VN. Kantoku work. Azuki. That's what it is. It's Azuki. Azuki Azusa, I think is what her name is. Yes, I apologize for that. So she's next. Very nice character. It's Griffin Enterprises. A lot of people just hate Griffin for some reason. I've never really had any problems with them. So I don't really know why everybody hates Griffin. Maybe they just think they have really bad crafts. So I got the beach one on that one. I have, let's see, another Shinobu over here. Actually, this is the first Shinobu I'm showing you from Bakemonogatari. The donut one, the Good Smile Company. Nice craft. Very cute. You can remove the sunbonnet if you wanted to. And then you can put it back on. I think that's kind of adorable. So if you're a big fan of that. Shinobu with a little donut bag and she's eating a donut. But the one that everyone loves the most is the Shinobu Good Smile Company one that has, and I'm sorry, the first one I showed you was Kotobukiya. This is the Good Smile Company one, the donut Shinobu, the one where she's sitting on her little stand and she's eating her donut. A lot of people really seek this one. It's like one of the higher collected ones, and I'm not really sure why, because I ended up buying it finally just because I thought it was cool looking, but maybe it's just the detail, maybe it's the craft. It's actually really tiny, but it's very expensive. You can get a lot for this one, and I think she is cute, so I ended up buying her. Thought it was nice. Maybe it's because she had a Crunchyroll offer for a while, and a bunch of people were like, oh, free, you can buy a figure. Next we have Anzu from Idolmaster. I like this one. I think Anzu's a cool character. Probably one of my, besides Mika Jukasaki, who's the best, and then Rika, her sister, Anzu's probably one of the better ones out there. I love her shirt. She's very sarcastic, and she's kind of cool. So fun figure. Lovely Anzu. It says Candy Island on the base. I don't really understand that. I'm not going to question it. I've never watched Idolmaster. Next, we have another Yuki Mikan. This one's Alter, the one where she's laying on the bed. Again, I'm a huge fan of Two Lover figures. You can obviously probably tell I have so much. I think Two Lover is the biggest collection I have. I'm going to actually lift her off her little base here. So she lays down. Again, I really like the stomach craft. She's kind of like has her shorts constantly falling off. I don't think you can remove the shorts. I think there might be a way to do it, but I'm not really going to mess with it. And then she just kind of lays down, and the PVC is definitely Alter. You can tell it's Alter. And they did a really good job with that one, I think. So, Yuki. But see, this is where the borderline of what does it constitute to be a loli, because when you look at this character, like, she's not as obviously loli featured as the other characters that are out there, but I think To Lover does a decent job of making characters look more realistic in terms of bodies, and not just massive breasts or something that just kind of like blows them out of the water. And then one of the most synced characters of all time from No Game No Life is this Shiro, and I own. I got this before it actually got re-released, and it just recently got re-released. But it's still pretty. It was pretty expensive for a while, just because everyone wanted it. Very high in everyone's list. I think they did a really good job, especially with the face. There's 2 more Shiros coming that I have coming personally. I like Shiro as a character. I think she's cool. I have nothing against her. Some people don't really like No Game No Life. It's kind of sad because it should have wrapped up. I don't think they're ever going to get a second season. Maybe they will. Maybe I'm just oblivious to when they're supposed to get it. I hope they do. I have 2 more Shiro figures, like I said, coming. There we go. But we'll see when that happens. So, with that being said, I kind of have a couple goods here, too, that I want to show you. Only 3. 2 Dakimakros and 1 mouse pad. Now, this is a very famous mouse pad that everyone kind of seeks. It's a Kobuto from Haganai, and this was in Comiket 86, I think it was. Found a seller who was selling it in Japan and ended up buying it. Finding authentic ones of these are a little more difficult, so you have to be really careful when you're buying it. But if you get it from like a company that you know it's official, then you'll know it's official. A lot of people, actually, if you look at mouse pads, this is one of the top ones on there, especially the, well, I guess you could say Opie mouse pad. So this is a Kobuto one. A lot of people seek this one. This was one I bought. I like this one because the silicone is not like the life-size Opie mouse pad I have, so it's a little more relaxing on the hand. The life-size Opie mouse pad one like just completely sinks your hand when you use it. It's really annoying. This one's actually pretty good structure-wise in terms of your hand support. The problem is it's way too small. Japan has this like idolization that everything needs to be extremely small, and you can barely fit. You can't fit like anything on it. It's quite hilarious. And then I have 2 Dakimakros here. A lot more coming. So these are from Cospa. The first one here, there's 2 sides to it, but I'll just kind of show you a little bit of it because I don't really want to like show it up on the camera. It's Chino from Gochimon, and it's in her little her full like little swimsuit, I guess, is what she's in. It is a full 150 by 55 centimeter 2-way tricot. And then on the other side, it's her like so. It's safe for work. Nothing really, bad about it. So that's kind of cool. I like that one. I ended up buying that. That was a little bit expensive. This is a really good Chino one that everyone kind of seeks, but she is expensive. We also have then Marida Naruse, and 2 sides to this one. It's her adult form, actually. She's in her adult form because, well, I won't really say anything about it, but she changes. And that's her adult form, and then on the back, it's also her adult form. The more suggestive, not safe for work one on her backside. So again, 150 by 150 by 55 centimeters, 2-way tricot, a fun material. Buying those are all covers though. The covers themselves are expensive, and then the pillows themselves are expensive. It's kind of annoying because you really have to pay quite a lot for Dakis. I never really, excuse me, pardon me. I never really knew why I got into Dakis that much, but yeah. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for joining me for this video. I really don't have anything else to showcase here. If you have any questions just about the idea, or you want me to make an actual video where I go more into depth about the book Lolita and how I think Japan kind of adapted the terminology and why it adapted the terminology and people's opinions and what constitutes an actual loli, what does it mean to be a lolicon, then feel free to leave comments or suggestions in the comment box below. This video is just meant to be fun, exciting, have a little blast with it. Hopefully you guys watch it. I will be starting up some other good videos here shortly. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll catch you next time.